underneath the lovely London sky.
Okay, welcome back to my channel, second video of 2019. Ashley's face right now is currently, first of all you can see the ring light in my glasses, second of all I have no makeup on because I've been studying all day, but I put a cute headband in and I did my hair, so does that make up for it? Who knows? So here's actually my bookshelf. I don't think you've really seen quite as big shot as that of my bookshelf, but there you go. I got a ring light for Christmas. This is the first time filming on it, so I'm really excited. I need to eat some ice cream. I went a little melty, but maybe that was a bad idea. So I just finished reading His Dark Materials. Everyone go wild. Ashley read 3 books in about 2 weeks. And I also watched the show. These are my copies of the books. I'm just gonna show them to you. These are newly published. These editions are called the Gift editions, and they were either released in November or December 2019, so they're like really new. So this one is the Northern Lights one. We'll put him right here. Then we have Subtle Knife. Look at this. Look how, just look how beautiful these covers are. Like, it's so freaking beautiful. And then we have Amber Spyglass. So I haven't read any of the other books yet. I will be reading the Book of Dust series, and I also will be reading the 2 little novellas, so Lies Oxford and Something About the North. I know it's something about Lee. These 3 books, I should have read them 4 years ago when I got together with my boyfriend and I asked him what his favourite book series was. I really regret it. Just look. So bloody pretty. If you don't know, I'm going to start spoiling them now. Are about a little girl called Lyra and the destiny that she has to completely change the world. I saw them in Waterstones marketed in the 9 to 12 section. They are 1000% not 9 to 12. I would probably market them YA, but like on the older end of YA, being like 15 up, because there are some metaphors in these books that I was like, especially the last one, I was like, this is a metaphor for an orgasm, isn't it? So I am going to do, first of all, the His Dark Materials tag, and then talk a little bit more because I have to talk about it. I have to talk about it. Oh my god, who's your favourite character? Mine's Lee. The first question is, what editions do you have? These are the ones that I have. Which is your favourite book? I'm torn. I very much like Subtle Knife because Will Parry, what an angel, what a gem, what a beautiful little boy. But also Amber Spyglass is so dark and deep and complex and exhilarating. It's such an exhilarating read. I'm gonna go with Subtle Knife because it was shorter and it was faster for me to read. My favourite character is Lee Scoresby. I'm gonna put that out there. My favourite character always dies. So it doesn't matter what series I'm in, if it's the only one of my favourite characters in sort of a series that hasn't died is Daryl in The Walking Dead. So he's in danger because he has long-standing being my favourite character. Side note, he started learning sign language for the deaf character that was introduced a few seasons ago, which, you know, I'm obsessed with sign language at the moment, and I really am all for making everything inclusive, especially for deaf people. And he happens to be my favourite character, and he's like the one person in the show doing it. Anywho, Lee Scoresby, my favourite character, horrible yet beautiful death in The Subtle Knife. I'm terrified of the second series of the show because I don't want to see that happen. And theoretically, we see Lee die twice. We see him actually die in The Subtle Knife, and then we also see his ghost die in Amber Spyglass. So, Philip Pullman, why are you playing me? 'Cause it's not nice. I imagine the best thing about being an author is being able to just like kill off everyone's favourite character. What would your demon be? I have no idea what my demon would be, but I think my sort of personality is loyal to a fault, puts other people above myself. So maybe a sort of dog, but I wouldn't be a servant, and everyone's set, and you know, the law, it goes that most people who have dog demons become servants, or they serve the people in their job. So I don't know, but I want to say something like maybe a dog. I don't know, what demon do you think I would have? What would my demon settle as? Which world would you most like to live in? I don't want to say Lyra's Oxford because hashtag the Magisterium. Out of the worlds that we've seen, I quite like the world where the Malefa are, because I just want to see the Malefa, because I've got this weird hodgepodge imagination what the Malefa look like. So I can't wait till they do it on screen so I can see what the Malefa look like. That would be quite interesting, but then there's no people in that world. Probably just go with... But if I wouldn't have a demon if I was from this world. This is a tricky question, because I really want a demon. Not like now me and Adam, all we talk about is, I wish I had a demon. I have to say Lyra's world then, but the Magisterium, so I don't know. I don't quite know if that is a wonderful idea or not. What object would you choose? The lithiometer, the subtle knife, or the amber spyglass? So the subtle knife sounds terrifying. You have to lose your 2 fingers here. So it's really cool. But you have to lose these 2 fingers, and I'm really clumsy, so I feel like having a knife that I have to look after for my entire life wouldn't be a great idea. So then we have the spyglass and the lithiometer, and the spyglass would be really cool because dust looks really pretty, but the lithiometer tells the truth, and I feel like that could be quite dangerous. Knowing the future is quite dangerous, so this is interesting. But the amber spyglass can only see dust. I feel like the lithiometer has a bit more like practicality, so I'm gonna go with the lithiometer. What would you choose? If you're a Dark Materials fan, I tag you to do this, and if you don't have a channel, down there in the comments, tell me the answers. I will put these questions down in the description, so don't you worry, you'll have access to them. What has been your experience with the series? When did you first read them? Have you reread them? Blah, 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 blah. So I just read them. Intense. It was intense. Like, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful writing. And the TV show, that movie was not great now, was it? But the TV show is beautiful, and I've watched interviews, and Philip Pullman himself even loves the TV show, and I feel like it's really great for him that he got like to have the TV show exist, because poor Rick Riordan still, Uncle Rick, the poor guy, still hasn't had a good adaptation made of his book. But Philip has, and it's going to be wonderful. So that, I am super, super excited about that carrying on. But it's something that both my Adams I can talk to about, because boyfriend Adam loves it, and also flatmate Adam. So me and flatmate Adam, we actually watched the final episode together the other night, actually on his birthday, and it was so lovely, but also soul destroying, because you know what happens in that chapter famously called Betrayal, which isn't actually the real betrayal. What? So I'm going to tell you my favourite 3 moments, my favourite moment from each of the books, and my favourite moment in the TV show. So my favourite moment in the TV show, Lyra, Roger, Lee Scoresby in the balloon, as well as Jurek and Serafina Pekkala. And so this prophecy that everyone is talking about, Lyra, apparently if she knows, she won't fulfill it, so no one can tell her. But Serafina Pekkala is talking to Lee, and they're talking about the prophecy. You find out in the last book that Lyra has known about this prophecy all along, that she overheard somebody talking about it, and she just never told anyone that she heard it because she wasn't supposed to know. She didn't want to like destroy everyone's hope. But in the show, there's a scene where Serafina Pekkala, the witch, is talking to Lee, and they're in the balloon, and Lyra and Roger are asleep. Roger is definitely asleep. Lyra is asleep, and they're talking about the prophecy. And at that moment, you can just tell how much they've read in to the entire series to put that moment in there then, and not leave it until just that scene in Amber Spyglass where Lyra's like, you know, I know about this prophecy about me. And I also love that the show is incorporating Will in season 1, just so that the timelines meet up and then we don't have to really rush Will's story, and we got to see a lot more of Will's mum, which is really lovely. My favourite moment in the first one would have to be when Lyra finds Roger in Bolvangar. Oh my god, that just tugged at my heartstrings in a nice way. The chapter betrayal, however, tugged at my heartstrings in a really horrible way, and I would much rather not go through that again. My favourite moment in Subtle Night probably has to be, it's really sad that this is my favourite moment, but it's sort of like going parallel, and you have Will with his dad, he's just found his dad, and then you have Lee, and Lee dies, and Stanislav Grumman dies. Can't remember what his Our World first name is, but we'll just call him Parry. And he's just found Will, and they're just having a conversation, and he dies, and then Lee dies, and it's almost like simultaneous, the way that I remember it from reading. That sort of this going on at the same time just really heightened both of the deaths of Parry and Lee, and I just love that they're friends, like, in death, even though they didn't know each other. But my heart is literally ripped out of my chest. Literally, my heart has been ripped out of my chest. And my favourite moment in Amber Spyglass has one honorary mention, is when there's a metaphor for Mary having an orgasm when she's looking through the Amber Spyglass at the dust. I don't know what chapters it's in, and I should have been annotating with tabs so I could find it again. But it's just like the pièce de résistance of like metaphor in a children's book. It's like when you go to a pantomime and they have really dirty jokes that the kids just don't get, but the adults like get them, and it's like hilarious. But my favourite moment is the moment where they like talk about a slow burn romance. I don't care whatever slow burn romance you have read, this, my friends, is the best example of a heartbreaking slow burn romance, because it's one of those slow burn romances where they realise, and right when they realise, they have to leave each other. Pièce de résistance, loved it. That moment where they finally realise that the feelings that they have for each other are love, beautiful. And then following on from that, the moment when they touch each other's demons, and the insinuation there is that they're like touching each other sexually, and it's a really clever metaphor, and it's a really clever full circle moment of the whole entire book, because one of the first things that Lyra tells you in the first book is this unspoken rule that nobody touches another person's demon, and the demon is the soul. So the fact that the metaphor for that in Our World isn't necessarily just sex but intimacy, I think, is absolutely beautiful and so clever, and it ties back to almost the beginning, almost the very beginning of the first book. I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. I don't know what to say, but I just need to talk. Okay, so I guess that's the end of the video then. Just had to share my deepest like passion that I have for that series. It's beautiful. Read it. If reading isn't your thing and watching TV is, watch the TV show. Is available on iPlayer if you're in the UK, and I'm assuming it will be available on the same equivalent of HBO. Beautiful books, beautiful story, absolutely beautiful. Go and read it, go and watch it, comment down below, cry with me. Who's your favourite character and what would your demon be? Comment that down below, and thanks for being faithful. Thanks for watching.